So today I'm going to be doing the rounds with none other than Tony the Bomber Bellew. Really good to see you, Tony. How are you doing?
I'm all right, Anne. Cracking on, mate, and getting things done. Just surviving.
You ready to do the rounds with me?
Let's go. Let's see what you've got.
All right, round one is life before boxing. What's your earliest memory?
Wow, my earliest memory. My earliest memory being in nursery. I always remember in the nursery they had a sand pit. I can't tell you much more, that they had a sand pit in the left corner. They had the playing part over in the far right corner of the building when you walked in. And we had our dinner and packed lunch in the far left. So on the back left here was the sand pit that I used to cause a bit of mayhem in. Then over to the far left was where we ate our food, and over to the far right was the play area. That's my earliest memory I can get back to.
That's
Strange,
amazing.
but
You've
true.
got a brilliant memory. When was the first time you walked in a boxing gym?
First time I walked into a boxing gym was in a Kirkdale on Stanley Road. I went there. I done one session there, walked back out, wasn't bothered, just thought, nah, not for me. I think I was 11, 12 at the time. Just thought, nah, don't fancy doing that. And that was the end of it, walked away. Continued to do a bit of kickboxing and left it alone, and then went back to it at 14, 15. Took it seriously.
So when was the moment that you realised that you had a talent and you could do something with it?
The first time I realised I had a bit of ability was when I met a man called Terry Quinn, who's no longer with us. He passed away. He was a really old guy who trained people in the Shoebrook ABC. He had a boxing gym there. He produced ABA champions like John Lynch. And I thought, okay, I'm okay. I'm not bad at this. You know, I can punch a little bit, but I didn't think I was fit enough or good enough to compete and really stay at it. After leaving that gym and going to Rotunda ABC and being guided by a man called Jimmy Albertina, that was when I first realised I could really do something in the sport. His training was the hardest, most regimented I've ever known, and I was only an amateur boxer then. It was so hard. We absolutely lived in the gym. We trained hard every session, every day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. It was just, I would literally get two buses to the gym and I would dread and fear what was going to happen to us when we got to the gym. That's how hard it was. But upon being with them for a number of years and getting to know Jimmy, I realised I could really make something of myself in the sport.
So what was on the Bellew TV box back in the day?
I was a keen boxing admirer. I always studied and loved boxing from a young age. It's the only thing that I've always been able to stick with and remember. So, you know, I can tell you things that just stay in my mind. I forget my kids' names sometimes. I forget some of the most important things in my life, but boxing things stick in my memory. So, you know, when you asked me a question about Mike Tyson, the first opponent Mike Tyson ever faced, his name was Hector Mercedes. When Mike Tyson became the youngest heavyweight champion of the world, he was 21 years old and 5 months. Other people, you know, that have broke records and beaten them. Floyd Patterson was unbelievable fighter. Just so many different things about boxing. I studied it. I idolised the likes of Roy Jones Jr. Boxing was always on my TV. It was always boxing. I would stay up till 4 o'clock in the morning and watch the Mike Tyson fights. I admired Frank Bruno. I idolised Nigel Benn for the UK. You know, I was watching fighters like Alexis Arguello when people didn't even know who he was. You know, I was studying the great strawweight and flyweight champions like Ricardo Lopez, amazing fighters. I was studying them religiously, looking at the technique and how they worked. I was studying, you know, Tito Trinidad's left hook. I was watching Joe Frazier as a kid. You know, I was watching how George Foreman was annihilating, going through everybody at certain times. There's so many different things that come through my mind when it's boxing, and it's the only thing in the world that I truly know and understand. I'm not very clever. I'm not very bright. I don't know much of anything else. But one thing I know inside out is boxing.
And you've done all right at it.
Just okay.
What was on the table then back then? What was being cooked? What was your favourite meal?
As a kid, I used to love my mum's chicken noodle soup. Don't know why, but it did. It had all kinds of things in it, spinach. I never used to eat greens, but that was really nice. Obviously, I've always loved the roast dinner, as you can tell. It's very rare that I miss one. I don't know. I was a pretty hefty kid as a young'un. At 15 years old, I was 15 stone, you know, and I liked my food. You know, my first ever amateur bout, I was heavier than what I had my first professional bouter. It's crazy when I look back. You know, my first ever amateur bout, I think I fought at 86 kilos, which is about 13 stone 6 or 13 stone 8. I had my first professional bout at 175 pounds, 12 stone 7. Bear in mind that I was 26 years old. I had my amateur debut at 15 years old. So how am I nearly a stone lighter 10 years later is unbelievable. So just there was I ate whatever I wanted when I was younger. As an amateur boxer, I was a heavyweight. We used to go around the world, and we would laugh the likes of me, James DeGale, Stephen Smith, Frankie Gavin, David Price. While David Price used to eat really healthy for a super heavyweight, but while everyone was on a strict diet and killing themselves to make weight, I would literally go to a McDonald's and box the next day in a multi-nations. I would always take with me on camps a box of Pringles and a bag of fruit gums. I would always have them in my bag. And sometimes the boys would make fun and steal me sweets or steal me things. I would take my PlayStation with me, and I would have my Pringles and my wine gums or my fruit gums. And that's how it was when I was boxing as an amateur. That all changed drastically when I turned professional. But as an amateur, I trained hard, but I ate what I wanted.
Great nutrition.
Fantastic.
If you could have a track to represent that period of your life, what would it be? What song?
I constantly listen to Whitney Houston, One Moment in Time. I know people will find that, yeah. That song's always played a pivotal part in my life. Before ABA finals, I played that song 50 times on repeat and listened to it in the dressing room. It's just, before Goodison, that song was in my mind constantly, all the way through. Just one moment in time, that's all I want. Just my moment. I know.
Great song, but that is totally left field.
Of course. In the dressing room, I would listen to rap music. You've all heard it and seen it before. I'm a massive UK rap fan, a massive rap fan overall. But songs that mean something to me, that is one of the songs that means an awful lot to me. It's stuck with me. I'd say before my first ABA final, I honestly thought going into that ABA final, it was against the reigning defending champion, Mick O'Connell, from the Royal Marines, I believe he was in. And I played that song for the whole day, just in my headphones, and I walked around with it. And I genuinely thought, if I can just win this ABA title, this is all I want in life. This will just be my one moment in time. But every time I came to a crunch fight, or every time I came to, and remember how many times I've been in them, a career-defining fight, every single time I came to one of them, and I've been in 5, maybe 6 of them in my career, I had that song playing on the way to the arena.
That's amazing.
It was just constantly ringing in my ears.
Amazing. Round 2, your boxing career. What would you say? I mean, I think we know what you're going to say, actually. What would be your defining moment of your career?
When I think back to my fighting days, the one and the greatest moment in my whole career was without doubt Goodison Park. Nothing even comes close. A lot of boxing fans actually think it's something to do with David Hay. It's absolutely not. David was just another fighter who I fought, in my opinion. He was no one special. A great fighter, brilliant at what he did. Yes, was it nice to beat him twice? Absolutely. But make no mistake, if I could rewind time and Goodison Park, if I was able to retire after Goodison Park, I would have. I'd achieved all my goals. I'd won everything I set out to win. I'd been British, Commonwealth, European and WBC world title at my dream location at Goodison Park. I am one of very few people who in life can honestly, hand on heart, say I achieved my lifelong goal. I have seen it out, and when I close my eyes and think about boxing, I see Goodison Park. I don't think about any other fight in my career. I don't think about any other thing. I always dreamed of lifting that green and gold WBC title. That's the belt that I see in the great fighters, Sugar Ray Leonard, Mike Tyson. They're the great fights that I've seen hold that belt. Floyd Mayweather, all these great fighters held WBC titles. Roy Jones Jr. and they prided themselves on that belt. You know, Nigel Benn. It's just unbelievable. So I lived my dreams out. The only thing better than that WBC title win is the birth of my children and my marriage to my wife. I have to say that. Otherwise,
we'll do that in a bit. That was career high. What about career lows?
Oh, career lows, one of the lowest parts of my career. People will think it's the first loss I had on my ledger, but I don't actually think I lost when I fought the Welshman Nathan Cleverly. I thought I'd won that fight, so it didn't really hurt me that bad. The first where it really hurt me and where I really lost was Don Stevenson in Canada. Broke me to this heart. I remember losing that fight, going to bed in the hotel room and crying myself to sleep. I was heartbroken. I couldn't see a way back. I was fighting on 170 pounds, thanks love. I never thought, how am I going to do it? So it was very, very, very hard. That was the lowest point in my career. People think there's other fights that I've lost, yes. And against Alexander Usyk, I knew I was at the end. I knew, you know, although the performance was great, although, yes, I was winning at the start of round 8. Doesn't matter, it's not an 8-round fight, it's a 12-round fight. But I could accept that because he's better than me. He's the best I ever faced. He can hand on heart say he is the greatest cruiserweight of all time. He's done something that no other cruiserweight before him or after him has done. I can take losing to people who are so much better than me. With the Stevenson fight, yes, he beat me fair and square, but I felt like I'd beaten myself before he even got in the ring because I'd just simply outgrown the weight.
And you had a lot of criticism after that fight as well.
Say that again, sorry.
You had a lot of criticism after that fight as well.
Oh, yeah, of course, the world jumped all over me. But people have got to remember the people I beat to get that shot. I'd always chased the WBC title. I'd faced 2 final eliminators. One was the draw, which one again I thought I'd won. Then I won the rematch convincingly. I always won every rematch in my career and won them even better than the first fight. The Stevenson one was just so hard to come back from because I had to completely change division, go up 20 pounds, 25 pounds actually. It was so hard to bounce back from, but I'd done it. And you've got to remember, once I moved to cruiserweight, I only lost 1 fight at cruiserweight, and that's possibly the greatest cruiserweight of all time. So I can live with that. I don't believe I'm anything special, and I think I definitely came against a special fighter in Alexander Usyk.
What was your dream matchup in your career? What was the dream matchup?
I'd love to have took a good hiding off someone like Evander Holyfield or James Toney.
Best piece of advice you were given?
I had a dinner with Mike Tyson many years ago. I just beat Tony Bellew and became Commonwealth champion. I sat down. The guys who were helping me out at the time arranged a dinner with me and Mike Tyson. So this was in Blackpool. Met up with him before the show. We sat down, and I have idolised Mike Tyson since I was a child. Most fighters do my age. And upon sitting with him, I said, Mike, I refused to put the Commonwealth title on at the time because I didn't really feel like I'd deserved it and beaten anyone because it was a Tony Bellew. And I just blew him away in a round. And I said, Mike, I haven't put this belt around my waist yet. And he said, he actually stood up and he shoved me, got hold of me and turned me around physically and put the belt on my waist. He said, you are a champion. You should be proud of holding that belt. We get to chatting and talking. Later on, he later signed that belt. And I said, Mike, if you could give me any advice, what would it be? And you're probably going to cut this out, but I'm just going to tell you honestly what he said. Mike's words were, stay away from That's what he said.
What about superstitions? Are you a superstitious man, are you?
I say I'm not, but I used to do things that were superstitious, so I'm a contradiction, aren't I? Put my left glove on first every time I went into the dressing room. But before the fight, the left glove would always go on first. Even when I trained, the left glove always goes on first. The left hand would always get wrapped first. Because I would always look at it, I'm going to punch someone's face with this. This the first time I hit someone, it's going to be with this hand. I've never come out in a fight and just thrown a right hand straight away, ever. It's always been the left hand first. But I think that was the most superstitious thing I had. I used to, as my career went on, I carried things that meant stuff to me. So sometimes a picture would creep in the dressing room. Sometimes a certain thing will creep in the dressing room from somewhere. And as people know, towards the end of my career, I had certain issues in my life that had happened. And I'd take certain things with me. So yeah, that's what I would do.
And the last song you listen to before you ring walk, is that One Moment in Time?
Sometimes it would be, or sometimes it would be. That would definitely be what were in my ears before arriving at the venue. When I get to the venue, a switch would usually flick. And it would be the nasty side of me come out. I can be horrible, vicious and horrible once I'm in a boxing environment.
So what do you listen to?
Usually rap music, Tupac, Ambition of a Rider. There's so many songs that I could name. Just something that would turn me really nasty, really vicious, really quickly. And it would make me, I would look back at my childhood and be angry and vicious, and I would want to prove everyone wrong, and I would just want to hurt people, which is not a nice frame of mind to be in, but that's where I needed to take myself
So you
to.
channel that. If you could pick one song though, one track that kind of epitomizes your whole career, what would it be?
I've always classed myself as the underdog. My whole entire life, I've always been loads of people have laughed at me. People have said I wouldn't do this, I wouldn't do that, I can't do this, I can't do that.
So what song would it be?
I couldn't put it into one song, man. It was a frame of mind. So I just want to prove the world wrong. Every time, all me fighting throughout my whole career was just about proving them wrong. I just bled myself on that.
Let's move on to round 3, and that is life after boxing. You're now a manager, and you.
I don't know. I'm not the most active manager. Do you know what? I haven't ate. I'm sorry.
What are you eating?
Salmon and egg.
That's very healthy, Tone.
I've got to stay, because if I don't, I can't get any bleeding fatter.
We can eat and chat. You've moved into the other side of boxing, so you are kind of managing, looking after. You're still involved.
I'm helping guys.
You're a pundit with us on Sky. If you could pick managing or pundit, which one would it be?
Well, definitely punditry. I love doing it. It's easier. 100%. I'm not a manager through choice. The guys come on to me and want me to help them, and I want to help them. I don't take anything off them. I don't need to. I just want to help them. So the biggest thing for me is I get a buzz out of helping them. I know them personally. That helps. I've been asked to train people, and I've said no now a few times. I don't see that taking part in my life. But yeah, the punditry, I love doing it. As I said to you before, boxing is the only thing I genuinely understand and know. I'm not the brightest, I'm not the smartest. I understand boxing. And 90% of people that are here, unless they're trolls or muppets, usually say to me, do you know what? You break it down in a way that we understand for the layman. And I don't realise I'm doing it, but boxing's not rocket science, let's be honest. But when a fight gets between two really good technical fighters, I try and explain to you what's going through each fighter's mind, what each fighter's looking for, what they're trying to expose in the other fighter, the weaknesses, the strengths. And I feel like I'm okay at that. I'm pretty good at it. I think Matthew Macklin's brilliant at it also, to be honest. I really do. So, as I say, the managing's hard. It's difficult. I'm trying to get the fights out there. I think when I pick up the phone and speak to a company or speak to a promoter, I'm listening to straight away. Whereas if a fighter does, he's not really, is he? And it's not really fair, but that's just the way it goes. That's how the cookie crumbles. That's life. But that's it.
We love having you on board.
Thank you.
Pies or press ups? I mean, you're eating egg and salmon, so you're pretty healthy. Are you going press ups?
I'm a doing press. We'll say that again.
No, pies or press up?
Oh, listen, definitely pies if I've got a choice. You know what I'm saying? Pies every day. Love them. Love nothing better than a meat and potato pie at the match. You know, if you haven't had one, go and have one. You've got to understand. As soon as the game kicks off, that was me half-time go-to. There's a meat and potato pie. I used to love it.
Netflix or clubbing, Tone?
I can't remember the last time I went to a club. I love a good Netflix, to be honest. I'm a pretty sad man, but you know what? Me and my missus have had some great nights out. So if I'm with the wife, definitely clubbing. If I'm on me Jack, it's definitely Netflix.
What are you watching?
At the minute, what have I done recently? Starting many things on. I've done a few things. Stranger was good. Seen all of that now. Got a bleeding bone in my mouth. Shouldn't be bones in that.
Could you pick a track, Tone, for your section, your life after boxing? What would it be outside of the ring? What would your song be outside of the ring?
It's called No Pain by Rudimental and what's his name? Maverick Sabra or Sabra Maverick, whatever his name. Yeah, them Rudimental. I love that song. We don't need no pain. As you can see, I can't sing that.
Round 4, your personal life. What is your greatest accomplishment in your personal life?
4 children and the life they live. Nothing even comes close.
What's your biggest fear?
Going back to what it was.
Which is?
Not going to disclose on television. It's going back to what I was doing, going back to what I was, going back to how I grew up.
You're a household name, Tone. Fame or fighting?
Yeah. Hate fame.
Why?
All this fame is an expectation and an invasion of privacy. Fame is nothing. Anyone out there who wants to be famous, trust me, become famous, you'll soon understand it. It's just a problem.
But you're doing SAS Who Dares Wins, aren't you, soon?
Yeah.
That's coming out this week. How was that?
Amazing. People will think I've done it for the celebrity thing. No, people who I look up to and idolise were in that show, and there's no greater soldier than an SAS soldier. I've admired that Middleton from afar for many years. I've done that purely for the basis of, let's see what I've got. I've come to a point in my life where I've got to remember, I've achieved everything in my life that I set out to achieve from a personal point of view. There's nothing left for me to do. It's like I've retired. I'm 35, 36 years old, and I'm finished. What I need to motivate myself. That show really motivated me and helped me at that point in my life. So that's why I've done it. Nothing for the financial gain, nothing for fame or anything like that. Just purely, I wanted to see what them guys go through. And if it was as hard as was made out, one thing I can say, the TV doesn't do it justice of how hard it was.
I was going to ask, how does the milling work? You know, when you do the boxing stuff? Because
you'll have to wait and see. You'll have to wait and see.
That's not fair. Right, okay, next question. You're a man, you never mince your words, you never hold back. What's your pet peeve?
My what, sorry?
Your pet peeve. What gets you go, great peeve?
I don't get that. What's my pet peeve?
Peeve. What annoys you?
What annoys me? Oh, okay. People with agendas, people holding back, people not saying what they really think. Don't be afraid to speak your mind. Say what you've got to say. If there's repercussions, meet the repercussion head on. Get on with it. It's life. Not everyone's going to agree with what you say. Not everyone's going to like you. Accept that. It is what it is. Better to be liked for being you than to be loved for not being you.
That is wise words, Mr. Bellew. Round 5. Boxing essentials. In this time of social distancing and self-isolation, if you're in this situation, what would be your only meal? If you could choose one meal you could have.
One meal, that's tough. This salmon and egg really good. Helps me.
You want that over and over and over and over.
She cooks it fantastic. Well, I have it every morning for breakfast. So
one song you could listen to.
Whitney Houston, One Moment in Time. Sums up my
one
life.
item you can have.
Headphones and music. I can't live my life without music.
And if you had to pick one boxing hero to spend your isolation with, who would it be?
Muhammad Ali.
That's a pretty good choice.
No one even comes close. The greatest man to ever put gloves on. I'm not saying he's the greatest boxer ever. I'm saying he's the greatest man who ever put gloves on for what he stood for and what he done.
Have you finished your grub yet?
No, not even close to finishing it. Lovely this though, by the way. Absolutely fantastic food.
It was good to see you loving it. That is us done. Thank you for doing the rounds with us. If any of you want to get involved and ask us questions, or if you've got anyone you want us to do the rounds with, then let us know at Sky Sports Boxing. Get in touch. Tony Bellew, it's been a pleasure.
Yep, absolute pleasure as always, guys. Keep tuning in. I'm looking forward to coming back to work. And thank you very much. Stay safe, stay at home, and enjoy watching Sky Sports.